Nairobi, Kenya, a city full of life, ambition, and business. The 14 Riverside Drive complex, home to luxury hotels, restaurants, and corporate offices, was just another busy location in the capital. But on January 15, 2019, at 2:30 p.m., the normalcy was shattered. A suicide bomber detonated his vest near the Secret Garden restaurant, followed by heavily armed gunmen storming the Dusit D2 hotel and its surrounding buildings. For the next 19 hours, terror gripped the city. By the time the siege was over, 21 people were dead, many were injured, and a nation was left traumatized. What happened inside the complex? How did the attack unfold? And what lessons did Kenya learn from this tragic event? This is the full story of the Dusit D2 terror attack, a day of horror, resilience, and unforgettable heroism. At 2:30 p.m., the first explosion rocked Secret Garden, a cafe filled with customers enjoying lunch. A suicide bomber had detonated an explosive vest, instantly killing multiple people. At the same time, 4 armed attackers arrived in a silver Toyota Ractis, stepping out in a military-style gear. Within seconds, they threw grenades at parked cars, causing massive fires and explosions. Then, they split up, one group heading towards the Hanover office block, the other storming Dusit D2 hotel, shooting indiscriminately. Security cameras captured one attacker casually entering the lobby, opening fire on staff and guests. Employees hid under desks, locked themselves in bathrooms, and sent desperate texts to their families. Some panicked individuals jumped from windows, breaking limbs in an effort to escape. For many, this was a nightmare coming true. As the attack unfolded, Kenya's elite security forces were mobilized immediately. Officers from Reke Squad, General Service Unit, and Anti-Terror Police Unit rushed to the scene. Helicopters hovered above, while security teams began carefully advancing towards the gunmen. Civilians were urged to stay away, with live updates spreading across news networks and social media. Among the responders was an unexpected hero, a British SAS soldier later identified as Christian Craighead. He had been in Nairobi on a training mission. Armed with only his rifle and tactical gear, he stormed the complex alone, engaging the attackers and rescuing hostages. Footage later showed him leading terrified civilians to safety while exchanging fire with the terrorists. For the next 19 hours, Kenyan security forces battled with militants. Room by room, they cleared the hotel and surrounding buildings, evacuating survivors. Snipers took out terrorists from strategic positions. Hundreds of terrified individuals were guided to safety. By the early morning of 16th January, the siege was officially declared over. All 5 attackers were neutralized, but the damage had already been done. When the dust settled, the true impact of the attack was revealed. 21 innocent people had lost their lives. Business executives, tourists, hotel workers, and local employees. Dozens were injured, some with life-altering wounds. Over 700 people were rescued, thanks to the rapid response of security forces. It was a day of loss, fear, and heartbreak, but also one of incredible courage and survival. Just hours after the attack, Al-Shabaab claimed responsibility, calling it revenge for Kenya's military presence in Somalia. The mastermind, Ali Salim Gishunge, was a Kenyan-born extremist who had trained with Al-Shabaab before organizing the operation. His wife, Violet Kemunto, was also involved. She helped rent the house in Mushadha, Kiambu County, where the attack was planned. Multiple accomplices were later arrested, including financiers and logistical supporters. But despite these arrests, Al-Shabaab remains a persistent threat, adapting the tactics to continue attacking Kenya. Even in moments of horror, humanity prevails. A security guard refused to leave his post, guiding over 50 people to safety. A chef led guests through a hidden exit, saving multiple lives. Police officers and paramedics worked tirelessly, ensuring as many people as possible survived. These moments remind us that even in the darkest moments, bravery and kindness shine through. The Dusit D2 attack forced Kenya to rethink its security strategies. Businesses increased security measures, installing reinforced barriers and surveillance systems. Kenyan intelligence agencies improved threat detection and response protocols. The international community, including the US and UK, assisted in strengthening Kenya's counterterrorism efforts. Since then, Kenya has faced additional threats, but security measures have improved, reducing the scale and frequency of attacks. The Dusit D2 terror attack was not just another tragic event. It was a turning point for Kenya's fight against terrorism. Lives were lost, families were shattered, survivors still carry the trauma. But Kenya stood strong. The world stood with them. And in the face of terror, resilience triumphed. The attack changed Nairobi forever, but it also reinforced one truth: terror will never defeat the spirit of a nation. What are your thoughts on Kenya's security measures today? Like, share, and subscribe to Chronicles Revealed for more gripping real-life investigations.